In a country where the individual is praised above all else, one could get by without ever having to learn to live with others. This is somewhat unrealistic because we do have to deal with others, yet often people lack the skills to live in peace with their neighbors. Although to a renter who has difficulty living with 2 or 3 roommates, co-op living may seem insurmountable. The co-ops have systems in place to make communication among housemates easier or to deal with conflicts as they come up. These systems are not present in most other living situations.
What's that?
In MCC, if something goes wrong in your house, you do have this broader network of support. You know, if there's a member of your house that that either isn't paying or is just a real problem in the house, you have a whole system of people there to help you out with policies, and we have staff who can go to court to evict somebody if that becomes necessary, you know, or if a house is troubling financially, we can look out for that and try to catch those problems before they become really big problems.
Are you filming?
There are positives and negatives to co-op living as there are with any other living situation. Housing co-ops don't claim to be utopias. Whether it's the larger individual-based society or simply human nature that's to blame, the cooperative system doesn't always work. People sometimes take advantage of the system, reaping its benefits but not giving to it. What's known as the tragedy of the commons is in evidence in housing co-ops. When collective ownership of something leads to a lack of stewardship because no individual feels it's in their interest to take care of it. The reality of co-ops, though, is that there's an ever-changing balance between nurturing and parasitic forces. When a house is thriving or just surviving, the balance is even or tipped towards nurturing. When a house is full of members who are taking and not giving, the system breaks down.
Oh, you mean the Great Lothlorien toilet paper crisis of 2002?
That's the one.
Wasn't sure we were going to make it through that one.
It was sort of I was a little nervous because I noticed that toilet paper started dwindling, and we didn't have a supplies buyer, so it was sort of a question of who's going to finally get off their butts and go get the toilet paper. And
as much as this co-op strives to be an egalitarian, non-hierarchical community, when it comes to toilet paper distribution, the distribution of that very lucrative form of wealth, it is very hierarchical.
I just went downstairs, you know, and like Chris did, and got toilet paper out of other bathrooms. But when I noticed that other bathrooms were running out too, that's when I realized that something odd was going on with our toilet paper supply. So, you know, I went down to the closet and there was no toilet paper there anywhere. So
the logical thing would have been simple, yeah, go get toilet paper. But with the supplies buyer gone, we didn't really know how to pay for it because the checkbook, the signer was the supplies buyer.
I think there was one lying around, one of these lying around somewhere. I think it was in the living room. Somebody had been using it to blow their nose on or something like that. I just grabbed that. I
just tried to regulate my bowel movements so that I would be in a public place. Like, you know, I'd just kind of try to calibrate the whole culinary apparatus.
I rifled through my back issues of comics and pulled out the Rob Liefeld Image comics and just used those instead.
At about the climax of the crisis, where there was literally one roll, maybe 1.5 rolls of toilet paper for like all of us, like all 32 of us. I was out at Nick's bar and you know, a little bit socially lubricated, shall we say. And I decided to go visit the neighbor bar, the Broughton Brow, and working as a community center janitor, I knew how to work the toilet paper dispensers.
He went to some local establishment and lifted one of their big honkin' aircraft carrier-sized rolls of industrial-grade toilet paper.
But then it ends up, I guess I remembered that I'm actually a co-signer to the supplies account. I didn't know that until I kind of forgot about that. I was like, oh, bing, bing, bing. So I went to Woodman's and bought a bunch of toilet paper.
Our toilet paper crisis intervention plan, or lack thereof, probably could have been more effective this time. We can learn from this. We can repeat these errors in the future. We can go steal that industrial-grade wad of toilet paper.
This sort of thing happens actually a lot. I mean, whether it's milk or juice or something, you always got to keep some kind of backup stash of something on hand.
Madison Community Cooperative. It's the nonprofit that owns all 11 houses. But what MCC is all the people in the houses. So MCC doesn't really exist on its own. It's not this sort of external thing. I mean, it is in that it has an office and that we have 3 staff people and we have a huge budget, but it's made up of all the people in all the houses. So that's you guys. And so everyone has a say in what happens in MCC. All of the maintenance and mortgages also run through MCC as a whole. So all the houses are run by MCC, and when you pay rent, you're paying off part of the mortgage on your house. But it's not just your house, you're paying off part of all of the houses. And then maintenance, we have a worker group. We have a maintenance staff person and members, mostly members of the other co-ops that join together in a worker group and do all the maintenance on our houses. People talk about general membership meetings as being the most democratic. They would be if people came. We're working on ways to make the GMMs more appealing so that people will come and participate, because there are really great things about the process. GMMs are where a lot of our more important decisions about final decisions on the budget and on officer nominations happen. Definitely there's an opportunity for anyone who wants to be as involved as they would like. Yeah, I mean, we're also just not like another landlord. A friend of mine was telling me the story about her friend who lived in an apartment, and his rent was late a couple times by a couple days, and then a check bounced accidentally, and he was out. You know, they're just like, okay, forget it, you're out of here. And that's not how we work. People get on payment plans. We try to give people time to pay. Sometimes it doesn't work in our favor because they end up leaving and the house loses, up to $1,000. But for the most part, it works out because people just need a little bit more time to pay.